Do you feel like you need an emergency hotline for Greek third declension nouns? They always feel like they're fighting against you. You have the first and second declension. That seems fairly straightforward, fairly consistent. And then we come to the third declension and everything just kind of falls apart. That's how I felt at any rate. But there are a couple of elements that give some semblance of control and ability when it comes to third declension nouns. Now, the first one is the easiest and simplest of all of them, and it helps you the most. It's simply just remember the Alamo. No, remember the article. So many times when you're looking at a third declension noun or adjective, it has the article right in front of it. So use that article to help you decipher the third declension form. The article never changes. Once you learn the article, you don't need to relearn it in some other form. It's always in that. And the article is always going to be that first and second declension that you learn at the beginning of the semester, the beginning of Greek, and it's fairly simple and easy. Now that pairs with your third declension nouns as well. They don't match in terms of how they look, but they match in terms of their case, number, and gender. So if you can remember your article and tie it with your third declension form, you got it. The second element is more a use of logic. Use your context and your reading expectations of the whole sentence or the whole passage to help you to understand that third declension form that you're struggling with. Now, if you haven't seen my video on reading expectations, you can click the little button up here to check that out as well. Now, with this second element, take for instance, if you already have your subject, you've already identified, I have my subject over here, and you're looking at this third declension form and you're tempted by that os ending. Maybe this is in the nominative. Maybe this is going to be my subject. No. Look at your context. You already clearly have your subject over here, so that can't be your subject. So you're using a little bit of logic and your expectations that you have about the sentence to help you decipher this. This can't be the nominative. It has to be something else. Work through it a little bit more. This is my genitive form. I almost tripped up. That can help you a lot too. The third element to help you manage third declension nouns is to use the indefinite pronoun tis as a model for the third declension. Now, when I was learning Greek, I could handle the first and second declension. You had your stem, you had your theme vowel, then you had your technical case ending, and that was it. Fairly regular. When you come to the third declension, it seems like everything's constantly changing. And it seems like there's all these different types of third declension nouns, and you're wondering, is this even one coherent pattern? Now, this is the great thing about using tis as a model for the third declension noun, is that the third declension is a consistent pattern. But the whole point of it is that things are either dropping out or combining together. If you look at the full paradigm here of the masculine feminine form, tis. Notice how the nominative is tis, and then the genitive singular is tinos. Notice how through the remainder of the paradigm, you have that stem is tin. Now that tin has been shortened in the nominative, it's been dropped out, and as well as in the dative plural. But that stem, tin, goes all the way through and is consistent throughout every other form. And then you just add on the regular technical case endings to that stem. This is why you need to remember the genitive singular form for your third declension nouns, because it gives you that full stem that you're going to build the rest of your nouns off of. This is why you actually have the lexical form as it is: the nominative singular, the genitive singular, and the article. With the nominative, you have that first form, the genitive singular gives you the stem, and then the article gives you the gender. So this is why tis is so helpful, is because you've got one word that you can use and apply that to your other forms. Now, it's not always going to work and it's not going to be foolproof, but it's so much better than trying to learn 6 different ways that the third declension works. At least my brain can't handle that. I need to reduce it down to 1, and that's a great starting point. So if you use remember the article, use the context and reading expectations, and use tis as a model for your third declension, those simple things will go a long way in helping build your confidence and your ability with third declension forms.